I need to do a water pump on my mother-in-law's GTI. So this is going to be how to do a Mark 7 GTI water pump, which I'm sure already exists out there, but whatever. I'll do my rendition. Unfortunately, I already pulled the radiator out. So let me fix this here. I haven't used this thing in a while. Hopefully we're focusing. It doesn't really appear that it likes to focus like that. There it goes. All right. It's a little not what I want right here. Probably gonna have to do a mixture of on the hood and on the tripod. So far I pulled the radiator out. Pull the radiator out, you just have these retaining tabs here on each side. So you just get a flathead screwdriver, stick it in there, and then push it back. Look at that. Nice. And you push it back, and then the radiator slides out. Depending if you have a Golf R or what you have, it helps to pull this upper radiator hose off. You don't have to, but you can squeeze it out, and on the GTIs it's really easy. And then you just gotta watch right here, it gets really close to this stuff, so you most likely when you're coming up and you have to tilt it to get out, you're gonna be stuck here. So I already have the fan out because I was trying to find the leak, and I'm trying to decide if I want to pull the intake manifold to help the show better, to do the water pump, or just do it in here. It's really hard to see, so maybe I'll just pull it. I don't know, depending on how I feel. I'm not really pumped up for this right now, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's get cracking here. Taking these off. T30s. Help get this out of the way. So you just go ahead and take this off, because if you're doing a water pump, you can lose pretty much all your coolant. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start pulling hoses off that I see fit here. Mostly just water. So now you got that out of the way, so much easier. So you're gonna need to take the charge pipe off. So we got a T7, a 7mm here. And then you got to go below. You gotta unplug your map sensor, and then you gotta undo it from the intercooler at the bottom of the car. It's been so long since I've taken one of the pipes off, I don't even remember how. Could that be? Could have a T30 right there. T30. All right, here is the pipe that runs from the throttle body. So you have this bolt here, T30, and this T30, and then a hose clipped on there, and then your map sensor. And this is very oily. It's got an oil leak. Fantastic. So now that you have that out of your way, I am gonna remove the throttle body, see how much more space I get here. So the throttle body is gonna be 4 T30s. Pointing downwards. unplug your throttle body, pull that out of here. And that gives you exposure to the water pump. I gotta throw you guys on a tripod now. Let me see what I can do here. Let's see if, oh, that was cool, that was my light. Does that help at all? Not really. Let me try taking these off. To remove these lines, you just need to line this clamp, so you don't have to take these all the way off, but just to show you, you stick a screwdriver, pop it, and it has a detent actually where it stays. If it falls all the way off, if it has one of these nipples, one going this way, one going that way, it doesn't matter. Some will have two going the same direction, which usually means they go facing inwards, but if you get it wrong, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you can, you'll see. Not wanting to focus on what we're wanting to focus on this dang hose. Yeah. Alright, take this hose off. It's got a leak everywhere. There's also another one of those releases here. Let's go ahead and take that off. Same thing, you don't have to pull it all the way off, but sometimes these just like don't fall off. And you have another one down here, same thing. Put a screwdriver behind it here. Pop it up. Sometimes these need a nice good shaking to get off too, so don't be scared to just pull on it really hard. Alright, here, so you can start seeing the water pump exposed here. This is part of it right here. So you can go ahead and take whatever you want way to help. So this thing might help to get out of my way. Let's try it. Start to see more. Water pump here. So now we need to get to the belt drive. We'll grab the new water pump. Alright, let's look at the water pump. So here is your water pump. So all the bolts are capacitive, staying in there. But it helps to have sometimes this right in front of you so you know which one you're reaching for. So like these ones on the bottom, all these are really hard to see. So you got 1, 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have your union here, this little one that goes here. I did not get my kit, unfortunately. And you have the belt. So there's a cover on the belt, which we need to pull off right there. So I think I'm gonna pull this bracket off. These are T30s holding that on. Make it a little easier. Trying here with the camera angle, it is just not good. connector on here. And I'll just throw this to the side. Or you can battle this. It's up to you. Easy. Alright. Now, we have this cover exposed. Now we gotta take this cover off these bolts. Fight this thing, trying to get this cover off. It's so nice of it. There's so much space in it. There we go, stuck on the hose there. Right here, and then you're exposed to your belt. So what you can do with your belt here, which may be a no-no to some people, but I don't care. I've done 1,000 of these. Just go ahead and pry this off. Boom, pop it off. Get that out of your way. Now we can take the water pump off. Well, there's also one electric connector on the water pump, which is way at the top. Sorry, way at the bottom. I'm looking at it backwards. You could just try to get off now, or you could just get off when you take the water pump off, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So, these bolts out. Using the other one as reference to see where they're at. Trying to get a stab it. Directly down from this one here. Oh my goodness, I can't freaking get it. Don't forget about your last electrical connector here at the bottom. It's going to have a little gray. I'll plug it and show. Gotta unplug it. So you can see anything. Alright, so here's the electrical connector for the water pump, and then here's actually the union that I didn't get. You should probably always get this, but these O-rings look good, and I'm comfortable with using them. Anyway, so you pull this gray locking tab back if you've done any of these other ones up top. Pull the locking one back, and then you just squeeze it and slide up. This thing, I'm pretty sure this oil filter housing is leaking. leaking oil there. Compare the new one to the old one. Alright, well, I was doing the water pump. I'll finish the water pump after I fix this oil leak. So actually what's happening, I think, is the oil, you know, actually it's not high enough. But actually I was starting to think the oil got to the water pump and it seemed like way too high. Anyways, has a pretty bad oil leak from the cooler here. I'm going to replace this seal, which is a little one, and then the one behind between the oil filter housing and the block. So that's kind of a big job. So I'm going to have to take the air compressor, AC compressor off, lay it to the side, take the alternator off, lay it to the side, and then unbolt the bracket, pull that off, and replace the seals. That should be fun. First step, disconnect your battery. And then you're just going to take these 4 bolts off the alternator, these ones. Take your belt off because the tensioner is actually going to come with that bracket. AC compressor, take your 3 13s off, one there, one here on top, one there below. Leave your lines connected, just let that dangle, unplug it so you don't break your electrical connector. Alternator you can just pull straight out because that's super easy. You don't have to just take these 2 lines off, 13 and the connector, and then we will go from there. I went ahead and took all those bolts out. That's the gasket I'm aiming for, which I'm not really sure. I don't think it was actually that. Whatever. It wasn't that much more work. It took me 10-15 minutes. So here's the one between the engine. You can see some spillage from the filter housing here. Actually looks like it might have been clean. It might have just been this, but since it was in there, might as well since I'm in there. Famous last words while I'm in here. I mean, unless, I don't know, there's a lot of oil, so. Oh, and there's also a gasket between here. I'll be taking this off and replacing that gasket. For now, I need to clean all this up. Alright, so I cleaned this off best I could. See, it looks better than before. So go ahead and just unbolt this oil cooler here. I'm going to try to, I had some gasket material left over, so I just scrape that off. And then just clean out your passages and pull the old seal off here. Slap a new one on. Oil cooler is good. It's not mixing, so this would mix if these fail. Here you get your oil pressure sensors. You get your low pressure, I forget actually. This might be low, this might be high, or high. This is the solenoid that controls oil to bypass through. And yeah, so actually this engine over here actually has an oil pressure issue. And if you notice in some of the videos, I have this one permanently grounded. One of them permanently grounded because randomly it'll set the low oil pressure light, and I am not buying a new engine for this thing. So we'll see how long that lasts. So I'm gonna go ahead and alright, so got the new seal on. These were T40s holding on. Just make sure when you flip this over, this cooler part, why is this so zoomed in? It's like zoomed out as it goes. It's weird. When you put this part on, just make sure you don't get a bunch of coolant leaks in behind your seal and hydrolock it. And then blow your new seal out. So you make sure that's nice and dry. And probably most of these, all of these are one-time use fasteners, but I don't care. I don't care. I use the T40 on these, but I think they're T45s. They might be 40s. These feel like aluminum screws, so don't go too wild with them. That's about all they need. So next up is this one on the back of the motor, or between the motor and the block. So just make sure, like I said, you get all this stuff clean. You don't want to get something stuck in there and then smash your, wouldn't smash it, but it could hydrolock your seal there. And then you're gonna do it again. Quite the messy job here. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wipe off the motor right now, the engine, and get all the fluids off there, and then I can put this back on. So these bolts are different sizes. So the ones, here, let me place this in here. These middle ones, so this upper one, I can't even see that. So hard to show on this view. This upper one will be a long one, and these two middle ones will be the longest ones. So keep that in mind when you're doing that too. Get my harness smashed here. And also one thing I didn't show is that the dipstick actually has one of the screws going to this flange, or to this thing here, so there is a T30 over by the dipstick that needs to come out. And this is a triple square 12 point. This is a 10 mil. These are 10 mil triple squares. Get your short ones on the bottom here. And this is pretty much the same for all the TSIs with the oil filter up here, because that's just how they decided to do it. So you have to take your AC compressor, alternator, all this stuff off if you got an oil leak over there. Did I drop one? I don't think I dropped one. This needs to be a short one here. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Remember dropping one. What did I do with my last one? Well, bear with me here. And I'm sure these have torque specs, but I ain't torquing them, so. I said a lot on my channel, I don't really torque anything. Have a good feel for a lot of stuff, and so don't ask me torque. I go ahead and I cinch these down with the ratchet, and then come back with the manual tool. One thing you need to be careful is there's dowels, centering dowels, locating dowels on the AC compressor. So one of mine actually did fall off. You gotta make sure, so this actually takes two. So it looks like my bottom one's the one that fell off. I'm gonna slide that back on there. I found it on the floor, luckily. Trying to get all these angles are so weird. Nope, let me turn my battery on my light. Okay, see, I got that on, I got this tight. Put the alternator back on. Okay, don't forget your alternator and alternator nut. It's just gonna be the nut without a shoulder on it. You can go ahead and throw your belt back on. I don't know if you notice here. You can tension your alternator or your pulley here, and I just put an Allen wrench here. It's kind of hard to see. So you tension all the way tight, and then you shove it in between here and let go, and then let your wrench go back, and then it'll, so that has the belt tension off. And you can see my ghetto ground here on the black one because yeah, I'm not paying for an engine. I'm pretty sure this needs an engine. I think it's got cam wear. So yeah, that's what that's for. Super ghetto. Don't care. Gifted this car to my mother-in-law, and that's how I get repaid. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw this all together, and then oh yeah, throw the water pump on. Isn't the whole thing on the water pump first? So I already made sure and laid my old water pump next to the new one, and it appears that it's going to fit. So I slide the union in first. So currently I have the union in right here. And that's what I like to feed in first. That piece. Push all the connections out of the way. Now, another thing that's kind of tricky is dealing with all these. It's getting your water pump pulled belt back on. So, sometimes I like to just roll it on. You can try to get it on now, but it's just really kind of hard. Trying to do everything and make sure you don't mess it up at the same time, you know? But should push these to the side here. And also make sure you lubricate the O-rings on the union. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Is in the back, I can see it sticking out a little bit, so that's what I'm aiming to get on first. You'll be able to. Walk the water pump over. Now when you get it in there, you're gonna feel it seat in there. And another thing that I'm fighting is the bolts for the water pump are sticking through, all the way through and catching on the block. One thing you don't want to do is think you have it and then just run the bolts in, because you'll crack the water pump. So you really got to get it over, and there's a dowel on the top of the water pump you want to line up. Now, like I said, you can remove the intake manifold if you want to make this a lot easier. Once you think you got it on, you should be able to push on this, and it shouldn't walk either way, shouldn't wobble. You should have it dead on the dowels. You shouldn't, if you're tightening the bolts like I'm going to right now, give me a second. You shouldn't feel any resistance on any of these. The water pump did shift a little, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. The thing is, you can't see the union or make sure you got it. So you just gotta trust in yourself. rough. That just bottomed out like that. It didn't pull it closer. I did do that a little on the top, but it's a little risky. Oh my goodness. Plug your water pump back in, the motor over here. Clean it out. So now we need to get the belt on. So what you can do, if you have a GTI, you can just get to the crank. If you do not have a GTI, maybe crank screw. I'll throw the belt back on. Let's go ahead and walk this pulley on. Now I'm putting a wrench on the crank pulley. I'm gonna go ahead and crank the motor over. Just get on the crank pulley here. Right direction. Now what's going to happen also is it's going to bend the crap out of these fins here. So you're just going to have to straighten those out after you get it on. Get this thing started. You can get the belt on without walking it on, but it's such a pain in the butt. To get the belt on and then get the union in that you can't even see. A little bent. Just go ahead and straighten these out if you want. I'm not going to do that because call me a hack or whatever. I don't care. I don't know what the purpose is, to keep it cool. But yeah. So those look like they're not bent at all. Some are a tiny bit, but I'm just going to do it. And then don't forget to throw your cover back on. This fabulous thing here. But also don't forget this thing. So it goes on the harness up here. goes live. Let me throw this cover on first. Boom. This fucking hose is so tight. This bolt isn't supposed to be in there. This bolt and this bolt should both be out there. That's nice. That's nice. Don't forget to take these ones out on the new one. Like me. Not after the fact. Now, I can slide this on. Well, theoretically. Let's see what I'm battling against here. Here we go. There was a little oil pressure sensor in my way. But it doesn't seem right. Yeah, this thing ain't gonna fit right. This freaking thing. This cover doesn't fit on here. Straight up, having a good time. Ugh, stupid shit. Okay. So that's on. I can tight this bracket here. So this will point this way. Wait. This will point. Actually, this way. slide this on the back, do yourself a favor, put on the top one, boom, plug it in. It's kind of in the button plug. Throttle body connection left, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pop all these hoses on, and in this case I'll just keep recording, freaking it. I lost this clip. No, I did not. It's right here. So, pop that clip back on. Pop this hose on the bottom back on. Pop this back on. Before you pop this back on. Actually, do I want to throw the throttle body on first, or do I want to throw the throttle body on first? Gummy bears, of course. What? Cheaper? I don't think so. You gotta be careful with those bolts too. You go too ham on them, go too hard on them, they're gonna just strip them out and strip the intake manifold. I've seen that a million times. And my intake manifold used to have a little bar here that is gone. It has like a little support, I guess. I don't know what the support's for. It's a plastic intake manifold. After people forget to put it back on, so. I've been guilty of it, so, you know. got these two here. T30. This one's over here for the dipstick. Actually, I think that's not right. I don't know what I do with the one for dipstick. And then put your fan control unit in. Don't forget to plug your AC compressor back in. If you want some cold air, you don't have to. And then put your charge piping back on. And you're pretty much done here. Yeah, so that's a water pump. The water pump and oil pump or oil assembly video. Yeah, I'm just gonna plug my throttle back in, throw my fan, well actually throw the charge piping back on first, or the intercooler piping, and then I will put the radiator fan back in.